Cari Jarman from Junebug Farms, and today I'm going to be showing you how I use my Strouch double-wide motorized drum carder to make bats. Fibers we'll be using today, I have two different colors of the Cotswold Lamb Alpaca mix, the dark brown and this red, yellow, orange blend. I have some wool locks that are blended with the same color as the Cotswold. I have some red Corriedale top. I have mohair from my goats. I have a couple of other colors of locks if I need to make the colors blend a certain way. I can tone them down or lighten them up with the locks. And I have a little bit of green Corriedale. And there's a tiny little bit of the Firestar that may or may not make it in to my bag. So I'm going to start with the dark. I want to go from dark to light. So I'm going to start with my dark brown Cotswold Alpaca blend. And I don't want to load my tray up too much, so I'm going to spread this out just a little bit, and we're going to build this bat from the bottom up and from left to right. So I want to keep my fiber in from the edges of the tray. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to start slow at first until I see how it's taking up. And you want to be able to see the tray underneath your fiber. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my dark brown with this yellow and orange mix, but I need to leave a little bit of space to get from brown to this color, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of the red Corriedale in next. Now, a little of this seems to go a really long way, so I open it up. I'm going to overlap it with the brown just a little bit. So I get, in this section, I'll get some of each color. This orange and yellow peachy color of Cotswold Lamb and Alpaca, and I'm going to overlap this just a little bit with the red that's already in here. So I have one layer that has both the red and the orange, and then I'll move over just a little so that I have just this one by itself. And again, I'm spreading this out so you can see the tray underneath the fiber. You don't want to put too much in at one time. I check to see that where is this overlapping? Do I have enough of the red? Do I want to move it over a little bit? I'm going to again build up the same amount on this layer as I did the other two colors. Because I'm not trying for a textured bat, I want this to be nice and smooth. I'm going from the brown to the red into this orange yellow, and there's a little bit of overlap on each one. And as I build the layers up, it'll be even more blended, but each little color will have its own place on the bat that you can see distinctly. I have my first layer on, and it shows me where I want my placement to be for my colors. So I could either continue adding one color at a time across, or I can lay out ahead of time the colors on the tray, and I get a little bit more blending this way. And again, I can see the tray through my fiber so I don't overload it. And it's going to go in generally the same place as the original placement, but it gives me a little bit more blending. And I have locks in here, and I spread them out and try to put them under a layer of wool, and that kind of helps keep them together. I've got my bat loaded exactly the way I want it, and I'm ready to take it off. So I'm going to loosen up my brush and flip it over so it's out of the way. I'm going to turn my speed all the way down, and I turn this to off, and then when I start getting ready, I can flip it to reverse and take it off as I need it. I also use 2 old knitting needles and a dowel sometimes to help me get it off.
So you're taking it off as poonies?
No, I'm going to I just try to roll it into one thing instead of a flat.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my Strouch knuckle saving bat pick. And I'm going to start taking little bites of the fiber of the bat from one end to the other. You don't want to take too much. Yes. So I have the bat loosened with the bat pick, and I like to kind of just organize it a little bit, make sure there's no stragglers when I get started. And instead of pulling it off in one long bat, I like to take it off more in a roll. So I have old plastic size 15 knitting needles. 17 would probably work better, but this is what I had. I put one underneath, one on top. And I kind of scoosh it in from the edges a little bit. And I pull it out towards the end and just start rolling a little bit, just to make sure I have it all organized. And I hold it here. Now I'm going to flip it to reverse, and I have it on 0. I'm just going to start making it creep a little bit more towards me in reverse. And I can start getting some of these stragglers out. And I can pull a little bit. I can use my Doffer brush if I want to get some of these extra fibers all the way down. So they're in here. Roll a little more. I'm almost at the end. Try to get my Doffer brush to use this last little bit. I'm rolling it not very tightly, just enough to keep it together down to the bottom, and I like to give it a little roll like this just to tuck the ends in, and then I can put this back and take one out and the other out, and there's my back.
I'm doing it just to get a smoother finish on it. Thank you.